I didn't realize how close sleep comes to something much deeper until the night I stopped trying to stay awake. Was no fear, warning, just a quiet letting go, and suddenly awareness remained without a body. What I experienced in that stillness changed how I understand sleep, rest, and the moment we drift away every single night. My name is Nora. This experience happened in late 2023, during a period of deep exhaustion that had built up quietly over time. I wasn't ill, and I wasn't searching for answers. What happened came during what felt like an ordinary night of rest, but it became something I could never forget. I'm sharing this not to explain death, but to share what I learned about sleep awareness and the quiet place we touch every night without realizing it. Remember feeling tired in a way that sleep never quite fixed. Not the kind of tired that comes from a long day, but a deeper heaviness that sat quietly inside me. My body moved through routines, conversations, responsibilities, yet something underneath felt worn down, as if it had been carrying more than it was meant to. I didn't feel sad, and I wasn't afraid. I was simply exhausted, the way a room feels after the lights have been left on for too long. At night, when everything finally slowed, I would lie still and notice how heavy my breathing felt. Each breath seemed to take effort, not because of pain, but because even breathing felt like work. My thoughts drifted easily, not racing, just floating without direction. We didn't fight it. I didn't search for answers. Wet the quiet wrap around me, the way darkness settles without asking permission, was a sense that something was loosening its grip. Not in a dramatic way, but gently, like hands unclenching after holding on for years. Where that tiredness was leading me, I only knew I didn't have the strength to resist it anymore. Rest wasn't a choice. I remember closing my eyes without any sense of finality. It felt like any other night, the kind where you expect to wake up and continue exactly where you left off. Where no thoughts of endings, no warnings, no feeling that something unusual was about to happen. My body simply softened into the bed, as if it recognized permission to stop holding itself together. The quiet grew thicker, almost tender. Sounds faded, not suddenly, but like waves pulling back from the shore. Awareness became light, unanchored, drifting without effort. I didn't try to guide it. I didn't try to stay awake. I allowed myself to sink, trusting that sleep would catch me the way it always had before. There was a brief moment where I noticed how peaceful it felt to let go completely. No plans, no memories, no expectations waiting on the other side. Just rest unfolding naturally. Ordinary sleep, unaware that something far deeper was opening around me. I crossed that quiet threshold without realizing I had stepped beyond anything familiar. At that moment, nothing felt strange, only gentle, steady, and safe, like falling into silence itself without any resistance. I can't point to a single second where life stopped. It felt more like everything simply settled. Weight I had been carrying slipped away, and in its place came a stillness so complete it felt alive. There was no pain leaving my body, no sharp break. Just a quiet pause, as if the world had taken a slow breath and decided not to exhale. The noise I never noticed before disappeared. Thoughts fell silent. Sensations softened until there was nothing left to manage or endure. I wasn't floating. I was simply present inside a calm that did not need movement. Time did not stretch or rush. Rested with me. What surprised me most was the ease of it. Nothing was being taken. Nothing was ending. The stillness felt welcoming, like stepping into a room where everything was already prepared. I didn't feel alone, yet no one stood beside me. Awareness remained gentle and clear, untouched by worry. That was the moment I understood that stillness was not emptiness. It was fullness without weight, quiet without absence, peace that did not need explaining. It felt complete, calm, finished, yet endlessly open, safe, and quietly welcoming. Where, without noticing a body around me, was no sense of limbs or breath, yet awareness remained steady and clear. I did not feel lighter or heavier. I simply existed, aware without effort. It was natural, like remembering something I had always known but never needed before. There was no boundary telling me where I ended. Awareness felt wide, calm, and uncontained. I did not need eyes to see or ears to hear. Understanding arrived whole, without sound or image. It reminded me of the space between thoughts, the moment before sleep deepens, when you are present but not attached to anything. What stayed with me was how normal it felt. Nothing felt missing. The body had not been taken away, it was simply no longer required. Awareness did not depend on it. That realization carried no fear. It felt reassuring, almost familiar, as if this state had been visited many times in sleep, unnoticed. Rested there, awake without effort, held in a quiet knowing that consciousness does not disappear when the body becomes still. This space felt timeless, gentle, and endlessly calm, offering rest without demand, direction, or identity, where nothing needed proving or holding. Aware of a presence before I noticed anything else. It did not arrive suddenly or announce itself. It was simply there, steady and gentle, like warmth already filling a room. We didn't need to look around to find it. I felt it the way you feel safety without asking why. There was no fear in that awareness, no uncertainty. The presence carried a sense of recognition, as if I was being seen completely and still welcomed. Nothing about it demanded attention. Nothing pulled or pressured me. It felt patient, calm, and deeply kind, resting beside my awareness rather than standing over it. I did not see a face clearly, nor did I need to. What mattered was the feeling of familiarity, like returning somewhere you belong after being away too long. Every part of me understood who this presence was without needing words. The understanding arrived softly, settled, and unquestioned. The calm around me deepened, not because something changed, but because I realized I was not alone. This presence carried a peace that felt ancient and personal at the same time. Being near it felt like being remembered, held, and gently restored without explanation or expectation at all. I did not hear a voice the way voices sound in the world. There were no sentences forming in the air. Instead, understanding flowed quietly, complete and immediate. It felt similar to how meaning appears in dreams, where nothing needs to be explained, yet everything makes sense. I felt known without being examined. Every memory, every fear, every hidden thought seemed already understood, not judged or weighed. There was no need to defend or clarify anything. The presence held awareness of me gently, the way light rests on water without disturbing it. Communication happened as a shared knowing. Questions dissolved before they could fully form. Answers arrived before I realized I had been asking. It was peaceful to exist inside that exchange, where nothing was demanded and nothing was withheld. What surprised me was how natural it felt. I had experienced hints of this before, in the deepest moments of rest, when the mind grows quiet and understanding feels larger than language. This was like that, but fuller. Awareness rested inside meaning itself, calm and unbroken, as if words had always been unnecessary for truth to be felt completely. It felt timeless, gentle, and endlessly reassuring in that shared silence. Without words, the understanding about sleep began to settle into me. It was shown as something familiar, something humans touch every night, without realizing how close it is to this quiet place. Sleep was not an escape or a shutdown. It was a gentle crossing, a soft return to safety that the soul remembers even when the mind forgets. I understood that when the body rests, awareness loosens its grip the same way it had loosened here. That drifting feeling before deep sleep, when thoughts blur and time fades, is not emptiness. It is a threshold, a place where fear naturally softens and control slowly releases itself. There was comfort in knowing that sleep is allowed to feel deep because it is held. Nothing watches with danger. Nothing waits to take something away. Sleep is a reminder, repeated every night, that letting go does not mean being lost. It means being carried. I saw that rest was designed as reassurance, a quiet return to something steady and kind. Even dreams, scattered and strange, are part of that crossing, ways the mind relaxes its edges while awareness rests safely beneath. This understanding settled gently without urgency. Sleep was never meant to be feared or rushed. It is an invitation that arrives nightly, offering the same message again and again. You are safe enough to let go, and you will always return. That promise lingered like warmth, steady and quiet, reminding me that rest is not an ending at all. Ever their understanding continued to unfold gently, showing why the mind grows quiet at night. During waking hours, the mind holds tightly, guarding, planning, replaying. It believes its constant motion keeps everything safe. But when the body settles, that grip naturally loosens, not because it is forced, but because it is no longer needed. As sleep approaches, fear fades because awareness is allowed to rest underneath thought. The mind steps aside the way a tired guard finally lowers their watch. In that space, nothing needs managing. Concerns lose their sharp edges. Worries soften into distance. This is not weakness. It is trust returning. I felt how this happens without effort. The quieter the mind becomes, the closer awareness moves to that gentle crossing I had entered. Night offers permission to stop proving, fixing, and remembering. The soul recognizes this rhythm, even when the mind resists it during the day. This is why true rest feels so relieving. It is not only physical recovery, it is a remembering of safety. Fear cannot survive where control is no longer clutched. Thoughts slow because they are no longer required to protect anything. That reassurance was familiar. I had felt it many nights before, just before sleep deepened, when worries suddenly seemed smaller. I understood why. Night is designed to return awareness to peace, again and again without explanation, gently restoring what daylight strains. It asks nothing, promises nothing loudly, yet consistently brings rest where tension once lived inside the quiet spaces of the heart. Aware of returning the same way I had left, without sudden movement or noise, awareness narrowed gently, like morning light finding its way through closed curtains. Sensation returned slowly, not demanding attention, simply reappearing when it was ready. There was no rush back into thought, no jolt of fear. The calm I carried did not break apart. It stayed with me, steady and quiet, as if it had settled somewhere deeper than the body itself. I noticed breath again, then weight, then the familiar sense of being contained, but none of it felt heavy. What surprised me was how intact that peace remained. It did not fade when awareness touched the body, rested beneath everything, unchanged. Returning felt less like waking up and more like stepping back into a familiar room, carrying the stillness with me. Nothing had been lost. The calm had simply come along quietly. Since then, sleep no longer feels uncertain to me. I approach it with a quiet trust, the way you trust a familiar path in low light. Now that rest is not a disappearance. It is a return to something steady that does not abandon you. When night comes, I notice the soft signals my body gives, the slowing, the easing, the gentle invitation to let go. Rush it, and I don't resist it. While the day to loosen its hold, knowing that awareness is safe beneath the surface. Sleep feels like being held by something patient. Even dreams feel kinder, less demanding. Wake with a sense that nothing was taken from me while I rested. Something was restored instead. That understanding stays with me, quietly shaping each night into a place of peace rather than uncertainty. And gentle reassurance continues to arrive softly there.